Welcome to Build Up, the European Commission's portal for energy efficiency and renewable energy in buildings. Directly stemming from the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, Build Up is the meeting place for everyone involved in making the European building and construction sector more energy efficient. Every month we focus on a topic that is key to making Europe's buildings as energy efficient as possible. Exploring that, you can find the latest content such as expert talks, webinars, case studies and more. From architects and engineers to academics and policy makers, we've got you covered. Build Up brings together thousands of registered members to reap the benefit of Europe's collective intelligence on all aspects of energy efficiency and renewable energy in buildings. The Build Up portal benefits from the expertise of our ambassadors. Drawn from industry and academia, the ambassadors bridge the gap between EU and national level and help shape our editorial content. Want to promote your work? Build Up disseminates your research, projects and events through a variety of channels. Become a member to exchange knowledge with your peers. You can disseminate tools and resources, share good practices, and consult open source publications. Join the discussion on social media and become part of the Build Up community, or subscribe to our newsletter to receive the latest news. However you participate, the Build Up portal is here to inspire, inform and connect. Build Up, the European portal for energy efficiency and renewable energy in buildings. Join the community for opportunities and updates.
Good morning and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jordi Gonzalez and I'm a member of the Build Up editorial team. Boris Vaklov, I don't think it's your turn still, so you can turn your camera off if you want for now. It is a pleasure for us at Build Up to host today's webinar and workshop event entitled New Bauhaus Stories, New European Bauhaus on Research and Education, brought to you by the NEBULA and Build Up. This online project is split into 5 main parts, during which education and research projects will share their stories in incorporating the NEB values and working principles into their activities. As you can see in the agenda of today, we have 5 following projects: the Nebula project, Bauhaus for EU European University Alliance, NEBINAR, UREHERIT, and Cultuur and Campus. But before we begin, we invite and encourage you, the audience, to send us the questions that you may have during these sessions. To do so, you just have to use the chat or the question button that you will see on the right side of your screen on GoToWebinar. These questions and or comments will be addressed during the Q&A session we will have before the end of the webinar. This Q&A session will be moderated by Karine Lafont-Leloir, who will also conclude the event with a wrap-up and announcement of the next relevant B4P and Nebula events. So now, without further hesitation, we will move directly to the first speaker. Karine, good morning. The floor is yours.
Morning. Thank you very much, Jordi, for the introduction, and welcome to you all to our 5th episode of the new Bauhaus Stories, where we will this time focus on the NEB in research and education. Thanks to Jordi, I can actually already skip my first slide on the agenda because it was already presented, and as Jordi also explained, we'll have very interesting speakers today that will present 4 different initiatives and projects. Before they start their presentation, I will just quickly introduce the Nebula project, which is organizing this webinar today in partnership with Build Up. The Nebula project is a coordination and support action. It is funded under Horizon Europe through the Build for People partnership. So this project is providing support to the Build for People partnership for some of its activities, and it's also trying to make the bridge between the B4P partnership and the new European Bauhaus. So we have different types of activities in this project. The first The first set of activities is dedicated to fostering the adoption of the new European Bauhaus principle and practices, and this webinar is organized in this framework. We have a second set of activities dedicated to facilitate the access to funding and networking opportunities for innovators through the Build for People partnership. And finally, we are setting up a network of innovation clusters to enhance collaboration between organizations throughout Europe, also cross-border collaboration and transdisciplinary approaches. That's our consortium. So we bring together European association, including ECTP and WGBC, which are the managing organization of the Build for People partnership, together with the European Commission, as well as the Architects Council of Europe. We also have applied research centers in our consortium, innovation management experts, and 2 front-runner clusters who are testing the approach developed in NEBULA. Recently, our network of B4P innovation clusters got really big because we had 10 additional clusters joining the network in September. So we have now 12 clusters that are part of the B4P innovation cluster network with a rather wide geographical coverage, as you can see here. And we have 8 more clusters from other European countries that are in the process of joining the network. So we are really happy of this achievement and of fostering cooperation across clusters in Europe. So as I mentioned before, we also support innovators to access new funding opportunities. They can be public funding or private funding, and we have developed a funding toolbox that you can access on the B4People website. And last but not least, we are developing activities related to the new European Bauhaus. We have launched a network of NEB advisors that are actually spreading the knowledge about the NEB in the innovation clusters that are in our network. We have also developed a NEB handbook, as well as this series of webinars entitled The New Bauhaus Story. And you can access all previous recordings of these webinars by flashing this QR code or on the Build for People website. And I really invite you to have a look, because they are really inspiring. But I now give the floor to Dr. Tonia Schmitz, who will present Bauhaus for EU, the European University Alliance. Tonia, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, hello everyone. I'm glad to be invited today. And I will shortly present you our new alliance, an alliance that is revolving around the topic of the new European Bauhaus. It is a university alliance for resilient, sustainable, inclusive and beautiful regions. So we focus not only our institutions that we want to make more sustainable, but also our regions. And these lie all over Europe. Excuse me. Yeah. So you see, we have a broad network, 10 universities on board, and from Portugal to Sweden to even Albania, we have a wide diversity of regional perspectives, and we want to make the most out of it. The network is consisted of 10 full partner universities in 9 European countries. We have 2 universities in France and 67 associated regional partners, which gives us 124,000 students and 10,000 staff in total, which is the huge body of people we are actually influencing and impacting with our work within our institutions. The core topics are the European Bauhaus, so how can we make our future more sustainable, more inclusive, and also more beautiful, and the regional innovation smart specialization strategies of our regions. This is another EU format where every region has to contribute with ideas on how to become a specialist in this or that, and we want to use these regional strategies also to strengthen the alliance and also the other regions taking part in this. Heritage for us is a resource in a cultural sense, but also it is a built resource, especially in terms of sustainability. Built materials that are already there can be reused, repurposed. So this is very new European Bauhaus, and we want to concentrate also on the urban and rural disparities in European regions. So this is a core focus for all of us. We will have a lot of course. So the alliance is beginning to get set up. We will start 25 with the design phase, and in January 26 we will already have courses on the topics we will provide. So we have lifelong learning courses. I present them here. It's a strong focus on intercultural competence and multilingualism to have a better understanding of different perspectives, and also 3 groups of dedicated future skills. So this is to become more sustainable and to get out of or to make our change agents real leaders in sustainability. And these courses are open to the students, but also the staff, the administrative staff, the academic staff, and also our regional partners. So we really want to have a greater impact here. Another educational format is interdisciplinary and challenge-based courses. We call them European Bauhaus courses, and it's a format we already have at Bauhaus University. So it's interdisciplinary, so we have different teachers coming together and teaching on one dedicated topic. It's always challenge-based, so the students will work on a challenge that is being proposed, and they find out new solutions. Our students love it, and we want to deploy this in the alliance. We will also have European curricula, so European joint degree programs on European Bauhaus, or within the European Bauhaus approach, and also contributing to the regional smart specialization strategies. And we have a very special format to have more transfer through education. So it's our regional labs. And this, what you will see here, it was actually the inspiration for these regional labs, for this program. We had one teacher putting forces together with a local group of people that wanted to refurbish their swimming bath, and they did it. So you see they built a new structure for toilets and a small bar, and now this swimming pool has been renovated and is active again. So with just 1 year of dedicated effort through our students, we managed to make a difference for rural area in Thuringia in our region. So we want to continue in this direction. Sorry, the slides take some time to move. No, it moved too far. Sorry, this is another regional lab where we built and rebuilt with our students using old techniques and sustainable materials. We are working on a very beautiful old house, also in rural area in Thuringia, to repurpose it also or to make it a place where things can happen again, and also for our students to learn, let's say, in real world projects, what it actually means to have built heritage to take care of. And this is for our architects and engineers, this is especially valuable to have some more experience here, hands-on experience. I'm sorry, the slides are moving very slowly, so I am not. No, this is it. My last slide. So our European University Alliance has 4 major goals. The first being that we have a connected campus where our students can move freely and at best seamlessly, and can have a European experience during their studies. And also all our staff, we want to integrate them in our network, so they have that they will have friends all over Europe. That's our ambition. And our values are taking responsibility for sustainable future, being responsible European cities, fostering diversity, inclusion, gender equality, human-centeredness, empathy, and having also kindness, joy, and happiness within our alliance. And this is what we aim for. And yeah, I thank you for your patience and would move over to, I'll give the floor to Boris, who will present next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, let's start and talk about our webinar program. Please, could you launch the film? Because we prepared the film because we are mostly using this method of communication. So Nebinar is a program whose idea was born in 2022 as an attempt to connect academics and professionals. From 2023, we initiated the creation of the library of the short recordings and lectures dedicated to young architects and students. And the program consists of a series of online lectures and workshops with a target audience from the country listed here. You can see them. Invited speakers, those are architects, academics, and so on. They just explain how do they understand the principles of New European Bauhaus, highlighted by the slogan "Beautiful, Sustainable, and Together." And we have a group from different countries, as you saw, so the understanding of New European Bauhaus is quite different. So in the very beginning, we established the steering committee to understand that, and the webinar consists of different type of lectures, like webinar Pulse, webinar Shells, and webinar Eye. So now all of them, they are trying to explain the understanding of New European Bauhaus. Well, we have a different guests, prominent academics, members of New European Bauhaus high-level roundtable, board members of ACE. And in the very beginning, we made a conference in Wrocław, University of Science and Technology, which took the organization effort. Nebinar was asked to the program livelihood, but what's most important, it is the part of CPD right now. But well, the program speaks by itself. So let's have a look.
Welcome everybody, yes, from Wrocław. So it's our pleasure to meet two most important women in the world of architectural organization. Thank you for joining us, and Boris, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Václav, for this introduction. Thank you very much. It is very nice to be the part of this livelihood webinar, which is part of the discussion about the New European Bauhaus.
I think that it's not coincidence that NEB was born here in Europe and not in another continent. It's not a gift of our president of the commission, Ursula von der Leyen, to the architects. It's a big endorsement, of course, but it's not a gift. It's not made for architects, especially. It's the son of a sensibility of the European community in general, the community of the European society.
Also, I think the last political events in European Union show that we missed one thing, because the European Bauhaus is concentrated on one hand on creative groups. On the other hand, on the support of the groups which are weakly represented, underrepresented, to support them. But we have, I would say, in some extent forgotten, me also, that important would be also to include groups which are well represented, but the changes which are coming with the European Green Deal could be problem for them. So I think that we have forgotten that it would be important to include such groups as farmers.
I put you back to the principles of that is often maybe heard or not so often heard, of Europe as unity in diversity. That is often, like, if you think about European Union, and if you think about very complex history of our continent, it is often controversial, complex, diverse. So it is impossible to call people to the sameness. And it shouldn't be, because it's the key principle of biodiversity is, again, variety of unique inputs that then flourish through encounters and maybe create new values.
I'm trying to just to say that creating space, creating public spaces, placemaking, it's not about the techniques which we are using, but it's about the feelings.
Yeah, and it's about the people and the users of the space. And that makes me think, because you've mentioned coming back to the roots, giving back the space to the people, to the community. And I am thinking about the first ambition of European Bauhaus, of the Together goal. So I'm thinking to include.
It was presentation of design to a client in form of comics. Le Corbusier had some kind presented drawings of this new building in storytelling, in some narrative drawings, added speech balloons to explain in some kind of dialogues with client, adding some explanations about the places, because in 1925 modern buildings was very new to everybody, so modern designs need to explanations.
What's your message to architects for 2024?
My message to architects for 2024, to open our vision, to learn to see things through different angles. I think that is my message.
Thank you very much. And Ruth, what's your message to architects for 2024?
I believe to come back to our origin and reflect on what we discover as the specialty of a place, and reflect our design on what exists in the surrounding, and coming back to our roots and be aware of our roots.
Yeah, roots are very important. Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure for me to have this conversation with you both, and I think that architecture is in good hands, both in Europe, in the world. We are happy with the place where we are.
My question, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today for this incredible episode of Life Build and NEBIN. We would like to express our deepest gratitude to our amazing guest for the presence and insightful contributions. Our today's magnificent journeys was filled with the beauty of inclusive places good for everyone. May the solutions showcased here expand our collective imagination, guide us in crafting a more beautiful, sustainable, and inclusive world, inspired, of course, by the principles of the new European Bauhaus. Once again, thank you for listening to this detailed presentation, and we invite you to the next lectures in the NEBINAR series, all about New European Bauhaus. Please stay tuned and mark your calendars because we have an exciting lineup for our next episode of Live Build and NEBINAR. See you there. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Boris.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So you had a taste of our webinar, and finally I should share with you the plans for the future. First of all, we are open to all kinds of collaboration, and we encourage you to make a local webinars like we launched Webinar Poland. As you see, there is a long list of the people who decided to collaborate with us, and we will make soon the interviews, lectures, and they will be our speakers. So for time being, we are not substituted by any European program, and it's a group of people with enthusiasm dedicate their time for this crazy initiative. So we invite you, just join us. Thank you very much, and I pass my the floor to Ruta. Ruta, it's a pleasure to pass it to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Boris. It's a pleasure to see you as well. And hello to everybody. Thank you for the remote control. I will present a project that connects the European Union and European Bauhaus with Ukraine in the field of heritage. The project name is UREHERIT. So, since the war was started by Russia in Ukraine in 2022 February, in 22 autumn, a European Commission under the program Creative Europe issued a very special program for support to Ukrainian displaced people and the Ukrainian cultural and creative sectors. We had obligation to align with two main objectives of the program: to prepare the post-war recovery of the Ukrainian cultural sectors through needs assessments, capacity building and investment planning, and to prepare and train Ukrainian cultural heritage professionals with regard of the protection of cultural heritage from risks in Ukraine. So we were thinking that it's definitely a project for architects. And we applied with the project UREHERIT, Architects for Heritage in Ukraine, Recreating Identity and Memory. The main applicant is Architects Association of Lithuania and me, the coordinator. And we won. There was only one project selected in this thread. The project lasts for 36 months. So we started in 2023 May and we will end in 2026 April. We are giving €1 million for the project itself. And of course, we are not alone in this endeavor. We are 8 partners from European Union, all of them architectural organizations, and 3 partners from Ukraine. So architectural chambers, associations, universities from Lithuania, Sweden, Austria, Denmark, Romania, Italy, Germany, Estonia, and we have Architects Council of Europe as the associated partner. And from Ukraine, we have the National Union of Architects of Ukraine, Roskvit Urban Coalition for Ukraine, and Kharkiv School of Architecture. What UREHERIT is about? So it is about cultural heritage, and it addresses the topics of evaluation, preservation, and restoration of the urban and architectural heritage in Ukraine during and after the war, treating it as a resource for sustainable cultural, social, environmental, and economic recovery. So I already see some connecting points with the first presentation, Bauhaus for Europe, because you were also mentioning that you, in your project, you see the cultural heritage as a resource. This is definitely what we do in our project as well. Trying to go forward. Yeah, the objectives are to recover war-damaged immovable heritage of Ukraine, to reconstruct social and identity structures, to activate and involve local communities and to activate and generate local economic network and processes. But I have to say that it is a soft project. We are not building anything. We have also certain values in the project. And I think that the main value is collaboration with European architects and Ukrainian architects on equal footing. We want to share knowledge and experience and together search for a new Ukraine-suited methodology and ways to preserve and recover Ukrainian urban and architectural heritage in a sustainable and inclusive manner. So this is not one-way knowledge, like it's not like European Union architects are teaching Ukrainian architects how to preserve and restore cultural heritage. No, we are learning both ways, and we are co-creating tailor-made solutions because there's no worse methodology as to copy-paste some solutions from one country to another without having in mind the local context. Inside the project, we have activities as research, writing methodologies and recommendations. We have workshops, we have conferences, we have continuous professional development courses and educational program. The principle is that we have thematic areas, and each thematic area is led by at least one European Union partner organization and at least one Ukrainian partner organization. So what are the topics that we analyze inside the project? These are heritage value assessment, damage done by war to the heritage assessment, sustainable and meaningful regeneration of heritage, holistic renovation of Soviet mass housing in Ukraine, participatory process in heritage protection, architectural design competitions, new technologies and heritage. We have educational program for bachelors, and I think that the same partner, Kharkiv School of Architecture, is a partner in the Bauhaus for Europe Universities Network. So I think that there is where our projects really collide. And we have continuous professional development program for 24 Ukrainian participants. Sorry, I'm going back. Now moving forward. So a little bit update on the progress, what we have done so far. In the topic of heritage value assessment, which is led by Royal Danish Academy and National Union of Ukraine, we have the first draft of the methodology assessment methods of architectural heritage, which is made public. In the topic damage done by the war assessment, which is led by Italian Chamber of Architects and National Union of Ukraine, we also have a report on heritage damage assessment methodology, and we will start online webinars in 2025. There will be 8 lectures, and we will make an open call for participants to get the knowledge and to participate. In the topic of holistic renovation of modernist housing in Ukraine, we already have the report of needs assessment and current situation. We had a workshop of the working group in September in Vilnius in Lithuania. So now we are working on the first draft of the recommendations on how to go step by step towards quality renovation of Soviet housing. And we will test these recommendations in 2025 spring semester in architectural students projects. Then in summer, we will bring those projects to Ukraine, and we will have an event with Ukrainian societies just to have their feedback on the solutions, and then we will make a final adjustment of the recommendations that will be the final deliverable of this activity in the project. We have a very interesting participatory activities inside the project. Sorry, trying to go back. No, bear with me 1 second. It's a bit slow. Yes. So 2 participatory activities that were happening in Ukraine this summer. Together with Romanian Chamber of Architects, our partner Roskvit Urban Coalition for Ukraine had organized a workshop in Rosdil Palace in Lviv. They gathered local community and architects, and they were working in the amenities of the heritage protected object. And this kind of workshop, it's called Healing through the Restoration of Cultural Heritage, as it brings the society all together and also gives a meaning to their existence and to being together there. The next participatory event is led by Estonian Union of Architects and also Roskvit, which is in form of Urban Forum. This is an event when local community sits together at the same table with local authorities and the architects, and they discuss the future of any important topic to them. So we were having the urban forums in Zhytomyr at the end of September and beginning of October, discussing two topics: the area surrounding the building of the Cosmos Cinema, which is a modernist heritage, and then Sokolovsky Quarry. In the topic of architectural design competitions, we had a workshop on the role of architectural design competitions for sustainable heritage preservation and recovery. And this is where we merge with another European Commission program, Creative Europe project, ARCHI, Architects Competitions, sharing the experience through the Europe and trying to improve the legislative basis and the good practice in Ukraine as well. And the next topic is technologies and heritage, where we have the draft recommendations for materials and technologies in restoration, which is also available publicly. As I mentioned, inside the program, we have bachelor program, Critical Restoration of Cultural Heritage, which is led by Kharkiv School of Architecture. So right now we are having the students that are attending the classes, and we will have their feedback in spring. And CPD courses. We had made an open call for participants from Ukraine that had come to CPD courses with some very concrete proposals for the projects to develop. And the international jury had selected 12 teams with specific projects related with cultural heritage in Ukraine. And right now, those people who are behind the projects, they are attending CPD courses that are happening in Europe and also in Ukraine, also online, and trying to develop their projects further. So the CPD courses are not only about giving the knowledge, but also about fostering and incubating the projects that they have. Last but not least, our project goes publicly during the main conferences. During the whole program, we will have 4 conferences. We had the first conference in autumn 2023 in Lviv in Ukraine. The second was happening in 2024 spring in Stockholm, and the next one will happen the next April, 11th of April 2025, where we'll present the progress of UREHERIT project. And that's it for now for my presentation. We will continue working on the working groups. We invite you all to come to Vilnius in April 2025. And also please follow our project in our website, in our Facebook group, or reach out to me through the email if you want to contribute to the restoration of Ukraine. Thank you so much. Sorry, and I am giving the floor to Ananda for the next presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me and also see me now. I'm presenting on the Cultuur&Campus Putselaan, which is a new European Bauhaus Lighthouse demonstrator project. It is quite a special project because it is based in one city, the city of Rotterdam, and it seeks to develop a sustainable hub of the arts, research, learning and community as a catalyst for territorial transformation in a part of town which is facing multiple sustainability challenges. Now I can't seem to operate this. Oh, okay. It's the delay again. So what is Cultuur&Campus? The Cultuur&Campus is a collaborative effort which combines a number of partners in the city of Rotterdam, notably partners in the field of education or in the arts and science, but also the city of Rotterdam, a business incubator, and also a local residents cooperative. Together with these initiatives, we try to map the initiatives that are locally in the city of of Rotterdam, in particular in the south of Rotterdam, that are addressing issues of culture, of community, ecology, society, and entrepreneurship, and together to form a space which can foster interesting and innovative collaborations to stimulate a more beautiful, inclusive, and sustainable future for local residents. We are, on the one hand, developing a physical space, but also a symbolic place where the neighborhood comes together with arts, education, science, and entrepreneurship. The partners here are listed. So it's the Erasmus University in the Lead, where I work. We also work with the municipality, with the vocational institutes, the Hogeschool Rotterdam, and also with the Visual Arts and Performing Arts Institutes, the Willem de Koning and Codarts. We also collaborate internationally with the networks ELIA of Arts Institutes and with ICLE for Cities for Sustainable Development. This is the building that we are renovating at the moment. It is a monument, a school which has, it's not that big, it's 1,000 square meters. It used to be a primary school, but it has known in its life many different activities. It has also been a place for migrant and refugees communities to meet and practice various types of skills and crafts. It has 3 floors, and it has also a big garden with birds and bats. I'm mentioning it because obviously when renovating the building, we also pay attention to non-human life in the surrounding building. And this has also been a challenge in the renovation, because we had to take into account and delay particular moments of the renovation to take account of other residents of the building. Now, just to run through the portfolio of activities that we have, we are putting this heritage building to new use, combining principles of sustainability and connectivity in the neighborhood. We are also developing a future-oriented research agenda. So we are using the project as an opportunity to develop research questions with the neighbors of the building to see what challenges are they facing, and how can we, through our research and also through their own participatory research, find ways of addressing these challenges. We are also developing new formats in our education, so new curriculum elements that foster and focus on sustainable city making and allow us to combine the different disciplines and different knowledge streams from our institutes towards a more innovative approaches to education. We are planning on running a programming of artistic and cultural initiatives from the building itself, focusing on inclusive placemaking. We are currently developing that program with local institutions and also with local residents, so that we can, together also with our students, have a really interesting and engaging program of activities that brings this building to life and also opens it up to new encounters. And last but not least, as I said, we're working with a business incubator. We're supporting local social enterprises. It is a very low thresholds to entry in our startup incubator, and we also hope that some of the companies that we are supporting at the moment will also be able to take over the building at some point in time in the future. The context that the building takes place in is a context with high level of distrust in institutions, and it is also a space where gentrification is a big issue. There is also in these pictures some protests locally in relation to the redevelopment of particular areas. So we are also noticing that in our process, it is very important to make sure that we are very open and keep the communication open at all times with local residents, so that the building really ends up being what they need, rather than somebody else's idea of what is needed in the neighborhood. As I said, we do this by being present in the neighborhood. So while the building isn't open yet, we are organizing a lot of activities, very small scale discussions, conversations, walks that trigger a lot of very interesting dialogues and also inspire us to shape the building in the best possible way. Sorry, the delay is really very slow. As I said, we are also working on a program on programming of creative placemaking within the Cultuur&Campus, which combines the arts with also design activities and meaningful involvement of the community in our activities. One example is the recently organized wrestling match where people could engage in a symbolic wrestling on particular type of issues, in particular also gentrification that I just mentioned, that are important to the residents. I see now that I have lost control, maybe due to, oh, thank you. These are other examples of the things, some photos indeed of the wrestling match. So it was quite exciting and also very interesting to really open up a dialogue by using also the arts on very sensitive topics. So we really managed to have a very open discussion through the power of imagination of the arts. And next slide. And this is another example of a collaboration that we organize yearly now outside the building while we're renovating it. So we are part of the Bloemhof Festival. It is an existing festival that is organized yearly in June, and we are providing and participating there with creative workshops, engaging people from all ages who reside in the area. We are co-designing the building with residents and students. So here are some examples of the sessions that we're organizing. And it is also interesting to see what kind of wishes are projected onto the building, going from a nail salon to a PlayStation room, but also to spaces for crafts and repair and mending. These are other examples of the students also presenting to residents the results of their co-creation work. So to conclude my presentation, I hope that I have inspired you in terms of seeing what type of collaboration we are organizing in the Cultuur&Campus Putselaan among different sets of partners and also local stakeholders. We are experimenting with new forms of learning that open up our educational programs and also our research activities. We are also working on building trust in the community by being present and having a range of activities that are also very low threshold, that are opening up a dialogue, a very open dialogue. We are also striving to enhance well-being and transformation without gentrification. So this is something that we need to keep in check at all times. And finally, we're also hoping to keep momentum for this initiative. It is now supported by the NEB, but obviously we are working on the long-term plan so that this can be a permanent feature of the neighborhood. Thank you very much for your attention, and I now pass on to Karim for the roundup, I guess.
Thank you very much, Amanda, and thank to all our speakers for the very inspiring presentations. So we have a couple of questions in the chat that I will relay to you. Starting with a question for the project Bauhaus for EU. And the question is about the learning programs, if they will be freely available online. So Tonia, maybe if you can give some more information about your learning programs.
Hello, everyone. It is not planned to have them freely available online, let's say for a very broad audience, not planned yet. We will see actually how we can involve. We have in our mind a few formats involving also greater audience, but it's not our primary target group, let's say. So we first need to take care of the students and to fulfill the requirements also of the program we have applied for. It's an Erasmus Plus project. So that's the major target group, students, and then academic administrative staff, and then more local, the local regional actors. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, and then there is also a question for the project. Let me check to pronounce it correctly. UREHERIT for Rita. In your experience, what are the main goals and preoccupations of the Ukrainian partners in regards to the reconstruction? For instance, in terms of security and safety, and how is the cooperation with the Ukrainian authorities? Yeah, if there is any bureaucracy related to that.
Yeah, of course. So there are lots of challenges, but also a lot of goodwill. So I will start with the end of the question, the relationship with the governmental bodies. So governmental bodies and the representatives of the government, they are very open, in fact, to the European Bauhaus values and all the programs, and they are really eager to hear what the European Union experts are proposing. So in a way, when European experts are collaborating with Ukrainians, we can do a lot of more than just sharing the experience, but we can also use this trust in foreign experts when talking to the local governments, because Ukraine needs to change the legislative basis that is applicable not only to the cultural heritage preservation and restoration, but also to any other fields that relate with architecture and urban planning. So the knowledge coming from European Union is very, very welcome. As for the main concerns related with cultural heritage in Ukraine, these are also many, because as you may know, Ukrainian cultural heritage is very diverse and very rich, and it suffers damage not only done by war, but also by natural abandonment. So even if a cultural heritage object is listed, it doesn't mean that it's taken care enough. So there is a need for lots of financial aid to cultural heritage in Ukraine, but also there is a huge need of human capacity, because as you may know, mostly male professionals are now in the army, and the Ukrainian cultural heritage sphere really lacks the experts that could just simply go to the damaged sites and to take photos or to document the damage done. Also, Ukrainian colleagues lack experience on how to do that, how to collect that data that would be really, it could be used as a proof when it comes to the reclaim of the damage done. So yeah, human capacity is, I would say, number one. But also, as you can suspect, the life in Ukraine doesn't stop. There are areas that are under occupation and they are suffering from the war, but there are other areas in western part of the country that are really, in the pace of very fast development, because there is a huge need for housing, huge need for infrastructure. And also there are investors who are trying to push their projects forward. So, for example, when it comes to modernist cultural heritage, then architects society has to struggle really, enthusiastically in order to protect modernistic cultural heritage, because in the eyes of investors and mostly in the society, modernistic architecture is not something to be preserved. So yeah, there are lots of struggles and lots of different actions that are being taken by Ukrainian architects, and we are trying to support that.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Rita. And now a question for Amanda. Amanda, how do you see the role of art to support co-creation and also to help building trust?
Very good question. Well, first of all, I think that in our project, we are also looking to support a kind of intrinsic value of art, so not always instrumental to reaching another goal. But what we are seeing is that through performance, through the co-creation of artistic outputs with residents, we are able to discuss things on a deeper level that maybe goes beyond arguments over things that are happening locally, things that are not fixed, or local issues that people struggle with, and that really go to the fundamental values, beliefs, and shared ideals and goals that we have as a community. So I think that is that we're now testing this small scale, like in the wrestling case that I showed earlier, and we are seeing that there is a lot of potential for connecting people together in difficult topics, and also for imagining a future together that is sometimes not possible with just words or in normal conversations about nitty-gritty issues of local life.
Okay, thank you. And there is another question for you. If don't know if it's something that you have encountered in your project, what are the main challenges to engage migrants and refugees in the community activities?
Well, I think this is also a very good question. I think it's maybe the word engaging is the one that we need to think about, in the sense that what we see is the best way is to basically create spaces for people to organize themselves the way that they want to organize events. So it's not about engaging others or inviting others in, but it's creating spaces where people can feel that they can arrange things in the way they want to. So this is also what we are paying attention in the renovation of the building, making sure that it is a very open, accessible building that different types of people will feel at home in and can identify and feel that they can come together there in the ways they wish.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe a final question then for Boris. What do you see as the challenges and opportunities for the new European Bauhaus in lifelong learning and training and sharing knowledge for the coming future? How to keep this
Thank you for
momentum?
this question. Thank you for this question. It's very important because, as we can see from our experience, the level of the discussion about the new European Bauhaus in different parts of Europe, it's quite different. It's on the different levels. So in some countries, this discussion is very advanced. In some countries, there is very low or non-discussion at all. So we have to understand that new European Bauhaus, it's not the Bauhaus as a style. It's some kind of new movement who is trying to prepare new European generation. So I think that as we talk and understand some words which are just this triada of new European Bauhaus, like sustainable, beautiful, and together, they are understood in different part of Europe quite differently. So I think that exchanging of the information, exchanging of our good practices, it's very valuable, and it makes that we not only come and understand each other, but we are approaching the main goal, which is just to solve the social problems, to solve local problems, and to be more involved in to maintain our buildings to the requirements of the 21st century. That's my thought about CPD, and what we say mostly as an architect profession is 3L profession, lifelong learning profession.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Boris. And then I think we only have 1 minute left to conclude, sorry, just skip this slide. On my side, I will make just an announcement about our final event, the Nebula final event, which will take place on the 6th of March and maybe on the 7th as well, actually. So please save the date. So the new Bauhaus Stories has come to an end, but we will also have other webinars to present the outcomes of the project. So please stay tuned. And I now hand over back to Jordi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Karine. Thank you to all the speakers and to you, the audience, for attending today's webinar. Just a reminder on our side from BuildUp that you will be able to see the recording of today's webinar on our BuildUp portal and our YouTube channel in the coming days. And also we have more webinar sessions incoming throughout the weeks and for the remainder of the year. So keep an eye on our calendar and our social media for updates on these. And last but not least, be sure to register to the BuildUp website. There you will be able to share and disseminate your own projects and your own content by yourself. And also follow us on social media for any updates. We wish you a very pleasant end to your week. Thank you and goodbye.